Took a shot at Henry, y'all could go and brace it. They know they talk that stick talk.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Slick Talk Real Combos. I'm your host, Rick Wandika, a.k.a. Slick Rick. My guest today is my boy John, a.k.a. JJ. And
What's up, y'all?
You know how we got to get it started, man. Salud.
Salud, brother. It's so smooth.
That's pretty smooth. You going to be sipping on water. Let me know if you need a refill. You know me.
Agua.
We're doing skinny paloma over here.
You gotta stay hydrated. It's too damn hot in California.
So, on that note, we're obviously not in the Henny Cave. We are in the house now because it's 100 degrees outside, and I didn't feel like cooking myself and him in the garage. So logistically, this makes more sense, and maybe we'll move in here permanently. Obviously, you see, I got some artwork back here. It is Kobe Bryant's birthday, which is, I mean, it's not like the theme of the show, but that's my guy, Kobe.
That's everyone's guy in LA. No matter what.
Kobe tattoo, Kobe chain, got it all, man. I'm a huge Kobe guy, which is funny. I guess that's a good segue to start off our conversation. We know each other for 15 years now, which is crazy. A little, like almost 16. I was always a Kobe guy, but when I met you, and I still to this day I understand it. You've always been a huge LeBron James fan.
I'm gonna cleanse the booze right now.
So what for you? Obviously, you're an LA native like myself.
Absolutely.
What made you become a LeBron James fan at such a young age and follow him throughout the last 22 years of his career?
I mean, well, honestly, to be real, I've been a Lakers fan since 99, 2000. Was watching them during the finals. Was watching Kobe, Robert Horry, Rick Fox, Shaq, all those guys that were just like, the whole three-peat team, if you will. And then, upon seeing like LeBron come in 2003, like his debut, he had like 29 points, was like 6 rebounds, like 9 steals, or God knows what, but he had like great stats. Sacramento Kings. Yeah, the man himself, he just, just on fire. Like everyone was just like, oh, he's not going to do well, blah, blah, blah. But there was like something in me, I was like, this guy has it. Like the kid from Akron, like he really can show it off. And that's what he did. He proved everybody wrong. And, I would follow Lakers, but then I was following LeBron. And I was like, you know what? This is my guy. This is we're watching history. And I used to get hated in school, and they're like, "Oh, you're not a Laker fan." I'm like, "Well, I am at heart, but LeBron, that's my guy." It's funny too because like my aunt, she's like a big like what's her name? What's that? She's in the WNBA. She's on the Fever.
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, she's a big Caitlin Clark fan, but she's a Sparks fan. That's pretty much how I see it. Like, she loves the Sparks, but she'll follow Caitlin Clark. I'm like, oh, you're a traitor. And I'm like, now that makes sense. I'm like, but yeah, man, I've been following him since, after even he left, went to the Miami Heat. I'd be wearing my Miami Heat shirt, and people are like, oh, fuck the Heat, fuck LeBron. I'm just like, dude, watch, he's gonna win a championship. And then, like, sure enough, he did. His 2 years out of the 4 years with Miami, one with Dwayne Wade, and then going back to Cleveland, fulfilling his promise. Winning in 2016, coming back from a 3-1 deficit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who does that? That's so
against the 72 Warriors.
Exactly. They're one in like 100 and something for people teams to do
134, something like that.
Something like that. It's up there. So, but yeah, I mean, as I gotten older, he's become a little more of a crybaby, and I'm just like, that's what's pissed me off about him. I'm like, dude, just stop. Like, just play the ball. Just play basketball.
I mean, that's some entitlement from him, right? Like,
absolutely,
you're great, and you've been treated a certain way your whole career, and now that you're getting older, and he's slowing down comparatively, but he's still putting up numbers and playing great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand that superstar mentality of you're like, well, the refs, like, they should be giving me that call, or I should be getting the benefit of the doubt when I'm playing against this no-name person.
Right.
So it's just, like you say, he's always just whining to the refs.
And then, but just like to see him too running up and down the court and just playing, like some days he's like just like saying, "Oh, my ankle," and then get up like nothing's happened. And then there's other days where he just slam it down like he's like 21 again. Like he just. Luckily for him, he hasn't really had any crazy injuries. I think the most he was out for like a month or two, and then that was it. Maybe a few years ago, I remember.
Yeah.
But he's just always been so dominant, and at that age, and then seeing him play with like the dads versus like the sons that are in the NBA. I'm like, dude. He's like, oh, I played with your dad. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a wild trip. And like for us being the age we are now, like 30-ish, I'm almost there. It's a trip. The longevity of LeBron. we always had debates back, and it's funny looking back on like the Facebook posts from back in the day.
Back when you used to poke people.
Yeah, back when we used to awkwardly poke people
That
on
was a
Facebook.
thing. That was a thing, man.
But we had our debates and comments and all that. But I just had this conversation with my friend Drew. Shout out to Drew on the second episode of the podcast. He's a Mavericks fan, and he's been a Mavericks fan since he was in middle school. He just thought that Dirk was great, and all that, which he was.
He was a goat, yeah.
At that time in high school, early 2010s, LeBron makes the decision and goes to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
He becomes the NBA's biggest villain. And me being a Lakers fan and a Kobe fan, obviously, but a Lakers fan, I was like, yeah, see. And of course, I can look back on that and say I was ignorant and immature to be like, oh yeah, see, he has to leave Cleveland, so he has to join up. But I mean, you have to. Yeah. Boston did that shit in 07, 08 to get KG, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, even a young Rondo and form a super team to win against that Lakers team. And then Kobe had to get Pau Gasol. Yeah. Andrew Bynum came up a little bit. Lamar Odom had good seasons in the late 2000s. But yeah, when LeBron went to Miami, I remember thinking like, man, fuck this guy. Fuck LeBron. I hated LeBron because I was such a diehard Kobe guy. Now, and it's been like this for years. When they played the Warriors in 2015, back when he went to Cleveland, I'll be honest, in 2015, I was going for the Warriors. It was still fuck LeBron for me. And then after the Warriors won the championship, I don't like the hype beast shit, so everyone hopped on the bandwagon of the Warriors. And when they met up in 2016, before they were even down 3-1, I just remember everyone gassing up the Warriors. 73 wins, they're the greatest team in NBA history. And I'm like, all right, relax. Like, Steph Curry's great. I'm not going to take away from him. Klay Thompson, second greatest shooter of all time. Draymond Green, defensive pest.
Hitting people in the nuts.
Kicking people in the nuts. But no, I mean, in 2016, I remember that's kind of when my mentality shifted of like, man, fuck the Warriors. LeBron, I'm with you, man. Fuck, kill these guys. And then they went down 3-1, and I'm like, fuck. Yeah. And then slowly came back. They won. I was happy for him. He delivered on his promise to Cleveland.
Cleveland! This is for you!
I respect LeBron. And even before he came to the Lakers, I have an appreciation for him, what he brought to the game. Yeah. Again, just back then, I was a teenager and I was a Kobe guy, and it was fuck everybody else except LeBron. Fuck D Wade, fuck LeBron James, fuck. I like Tracy McGrady back in the day. But yeah, anyway, if you weren't Kobe, you can go fuck yourself. Steve Nash won 2 MVPs. Go fuck yourself. Yeah,
should have been Kobe, not him.
Shaq, when he left the Lakers, go fuck yourself. Yeah. But I was a kid. Like as an adult now, I have a great appreciation for all these great players. And no matter what you had to do, LeBron, he won 2 in Miami. He won 1 in Cleveland. He brought the Lakers a championship. Bubble counts. Fuck all y'all.
Bubble counts, baby.
Fuck all y'all. If your team didn't win it, that's your problem. Same thing for the Dodgers.
Plus, I think people don't even see it as like, when COVID happened in March, like the Lakers were like 55 or like 50, or 45 and like 19 or something. Like they were on a run, like a solid run. Yeah, it's the same thing with the Dodgers too. Like every team had an opportunity to win it. Like it was, if it was so easy, your team would have won it, but it wasn't. Like it was tough. I mean, not only that, but like in 2020, the Dodgers came back from 3-1 deficit against the Braves, and the Braves they had Freddie Freeman. I can't name anybody else, but that's pretty much it because I hardly remember. But it's just like seeing them come back from that deficit it's incredible. And then even too, like playing against the Rays when Blake Snell was there and he was kicking ass. As soon as they pulled him out and then they let all those runs in, they screwed themselves.
Yeah, that was a wrap. No, I don't agree with the thought that doesn't count. It was the circumstances of everybody, and like you said, the Lakers were on a run. And for me personally, and obviously I'm biased, 2020, January 26, 2020 is when Kobe passed away. Kobe, Gigi, and the other people who were on that helicopter that day. Lakers weren't going to lose. LeBron was on a mission. AD was on a mission. Dwight would have been on a mission. All these guys were on a mission to win this for Kobe. It could have been in the Staples Center. It could have been at Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando where they played in the bubble. And we would have won. For the Dodgers, maybe the same thing. Yeah. Obviously, Kobe was an LA icon, and he was a big Dodgers fan during his time here. So they would have probably been like, oh no, we're winning this for Kobe. Right. And like, again, even playing field, nobody has an advantage. Nobody has a disadvantage. We're all, I mean, technically yes, but we're all on the same playing field. There's no home court advantage. Would that have made a difference? Absolutely. But again, your team couldn't do it.
Exactly.
We did it. So fuck you, Daryl Morey. we still need a parade from 2020. I know we got our 2024 last year, but Lakers still need a parade from 2020.
No
we
doubt.
deserve that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we've had some good times. I mean, right now before we turned on the camera, you reminded me of how we met. Was at a party back when we were both freshmen in high school, and we had a mutual friend. We can say her name, but it's gonna be no one's gonna hear this. It's gonna be censored. But no shade. It's just I'm not trying to give nobody free promo. This ain't big yet. I'm not trying to get sued by anybody.
It's not big yet, my friends. It's going to be. It's gonna blast off.
I'm not trying to name drop and then people in the future be like, he dropped my name on. Like, yeah, no.
Suing y'all.
But yeah, we met through a mutual friend named. And back then, she was my best friend in high school, or my freshman year of high school. You came around and we would go to parties together, school dances that would be pretty lit, and then the underage club in Alhambra at the Ultra Zone.
Good old Club Z, baby.
Club Z, the laser tag club.
Laser tag! That was my first job, by the way. Laser tag Alhambra. Spot was great. It's still open. It's not as good as it used to be, but
I bet.
Many good memories over there.
Yeah, I had a lot of birthdays, or a few birthdays there growing up too. I remember that. That was a cool spot.
Yeah.
And they had the 3 different, there was the main lobby area. They had a certain dance floor where you walked in to get your gear was another dance floor. And then in the actual laser tag maze itself was like the hip hop.
Yeah, dude, it was hot as shit.
Man, that shit was.
And it was haunted too.
Yeah.
There was kakui in there. I was like, hell no. That's why every time we would close, I'm like, who's cleaning the arena? I'm like, I'm not doing that shit. No thanks. But I remember doing that Club Z thing, and it was just like, we were kids and whatnot, and
so funny.
And before we turned on the cameras, when I was telling my mom, I was like, oh, like, what are you gonna do today? I was like, oh, I'm gonna go and do this podcast, it's gonna be great. And she was like, well, how did you guys meet? And Ricky said too, like, we met through mutual friends and through this guy named at his birthday party. And then it's crazy because my first house party, I was a freshman. Obviously we're freshmen, and so my mom was like, "What are you doing tonight?" And then she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to a house party. Can you drop me off?" And she was like, "Sure, but it's gonna be alcohol." I was like, "I don't know." I mean, we knew, but she was like, "I don't know. Just going for my friends." And so she pulls up with me, and back then it's like you get in line, like girls are free after 10, guys are like $5 or whatever. And so I'm like in line, and then I run into you and like this other girl, and my mom was like, "Oh my god, like." What's going on? I'm like, Ma, chill. It's my buddy Ricky. It's his birthday. It was your sister's birthday because she was like, I think 21 or something, but something like that. I don't know. But you guys had like this house party here, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then my mom was like, all right, well, just be careful. Just be careful. Take care of the girls. Like, all right. So go in, and I remember just having I had my first Jello shot with you. It was so cool. Those Jello shots. And I was like, shoot, am I supposed to be taking this? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, Mom, come pick me up. I'm scared. But no, it was cool. We stayed, and we're dancing with the girls, whatever, blah blah, and he won't tell you, but he was Mr. Pimp over here. Always had a hyena. Not going to disclose any names because I don't remember too anyway. But he always had one. But it was fun, I always had a good time with this guy. Like, we never had any issues. Like, maybe we would have debates, whether it was sports or wrestling too. Sometimes, watching wrestling. Like, we're big on wrestling. We've been watching wrestling since I probably came out the womb too.
That's right, baby. Since you mentioned that, your boy's got the WWE spinner replica belt because John Cena's my guy.
Basic thugonomics.
I get props and I get shit for this, and I really don't care.
I think the haters give you shit because they're jealous that they can afford something like that, which I'm sure it's expensive. But maybe 20 years ago, 12-year-old me would be like, "Oh my god!"
Again, it's a lot of nostalgia for us now. We're at an age where we're not old, but we ain't kids anymore.
Yeah.
So anything that gives you that sense of nostalgia, like the pictures behind us, Kobe dunking on rookie Dwight Howard in 2004.
Yeah.
Obviously that's Freddie Freeman with the walk-off home run in Game 1.
And then our boy Kurt's right here. This is the GOAT. So he's not old.
So having this belt for me is really cool. It's really fun.
Yeah.
I'll let you hold that for a second because you're the guest.
This is so effing heavy. It's crazy. Imagine just taking a headshot. This is every kid's dream.
Since you brought it up, that was it was such a fun night. So yes, my sister and her friends threw a house party. Because when we were freshmen, they were seniors. They had just graduated. It was the summer of 2010.
Yes.
And they decided to throw a house party.
That was a MySpace era, in case y'all don't know that.
It was.
It was so much fun.
It was.
PC for PC. I own this pick. Top 5. Top 8. Top 5. I had to kick off. What was his name? What was the guy who created it?
Tom.
Tom. Yeah, Tom was in my top 5.
That's
Why
so
is Tom on your top 5, not me? Because Tom made this. That's why.
That's so funny.
But like MySpace was like everything. It was like Twitter, Facebook, like just a whole combination. It taught
awesome.
us how to like create our own website for crying out loud.
Create your
Coding,
page,
yeah.
put music, all that shit.
Yeah.
It was a good time. No, so the party, that shit was funny, and it was crazy because I know my sister and her friends. It was like 3 of them. They made a lot of money that night. We did have alcohol. I know we shouldn't be serving alcohol, but we were kids.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't even know. I'll be honest.
What is alcohol?
I don't even know who got it for us. To be honest, it wasn't my mom. So I don't remember.
There were donations.
Sure, because my sister and her friends were like 18, 19 at the time. But, oh, you know what? I remember who got us alcohol, but we ain't name dropping. Either way, yeah, no, it was cool. We had a DJ, we had a bartender. Unfortunately, somebody brought a Nas tank, and they were selling balloons, and that's kind of what got us shut down because the neighbors weren't tripping off the music. They weren't tripping too much off the people, except there were people that were racing down my street.
Yeah,
motherfuckers who came in cars and they were like, "Oh, let's race down the street."
Mm-hmm.
That got a little dangerous, but they were tripping off the Nas tank. The I do. Yeah,
I don't understand why people do that.
Such a
so
crazy
stupid.
night, bro. We were packed in, and my backyard's like relatively big.
Yeah,
there was like 400 people here that night.
Lying.
I'm not. It was a lot. Like
I remember it being big, but
you were shoulder to shoulder, and I used to have the jungle gym back there too. So motherfuckers like on the slide and up top, and then the picnic table down below.
Yeah.
My sister's dog that we left across the street at our neighbor's house somehow broke through the gate and made her way over here. It was some crazy shit.
That's a loyal dog, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, she R.I.P. to Raven. It was a fun night. I remember I was 14 years old, and I remember I was walking with a female friend of mine through the party.
See, I told you guys.
Through the party. And, since we're all packed in, and all these dudes are like, college age or like early 20s, because there's a lot of my sister's friends who was in college, and, I'm bumping through people, and people are giving me crazy looks because everyone's drunk or high or whatever. And I'm like, this is my house. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck bumping everybody. Like, watch out. Excuse me. Watch
do
out.
what I want.
Yeah, this is my fucking house. What you gonna do? It was a crazy night. It ended up getting shut down at like 11:30 maybe. The cops came twice. I think the first time they gave us a warning. Second time they shut us down. And they told my mom, if you have another party, we're going to fine you.
Ooh.
So ever since then, my mom's been very paranoid about having parties here. But I've had kickbacks. I think the last kickback I had here was 2019. That kind of got out of control. Another summer kickback.
I remember going to that. Yeah, you had like a beer pong table.
Yeah, just for shits and giggles. That was a good time. And then right now I'm about to turn 30, so I'm planning on having a nice little party in a backyard boogie for my 30th birthday. And of course, you're more than welcome.
Hell yeah,
you're gonna get that invite.
BYOB.
Hell
yeah.
Bring
your own bitches.
BYOS. Bring your own shit. So. I know something that you've been doing for years now, but I got the chance to go see you play hockey in an adult league a couple years ago. You play over here at Orangewood Park in West Covina.
Yes, sir.
So how did you get into playing hockey? Have you been playing since you were a kid?
So I got into hockey like around like 2005, 2006. It was always like, like I was a big wrestling fan. Like I would eat, sleep, and breathe wrestling. Like I tell you, like I was watching wrestling every Monday on Raw at 6, every Thursday night at 8 p.m. It changed to Friday night, whatever. I was always into wrestling.
That's why you got the belt.
Oh yeah, that's why we got the belt. Always into wrestling, like always into basketball. Baseball I kind of got into a little bit, not till later, but yeah, going to hockey. My cousin Eric and his brother Nick. Eric was a big Kings fan. He still is. He's a loser. No, I'm just kidding. I love that guy. He's cool. But we like to talk shit to each other. He's also an Angels fan. Disgusting.
Yeah. Get him out of here.
So that's how I knew. I was like, you got dropped when you were a kid. And then his brother Nick was a Ducks fan. His brother Nick was a Ducks fan because of like the Mighty Ducks movies. Mm-hmm. So of course, like Nick and Eric, the brothers, like, oh, you like that team? I'm gonna like this team. Like just at that young age, they're like, I don't want to like what my fucking brother likes. Fuck that. So he was like, no, I'm gonna be a Ducks fan, whatever, blah blah. So because like me and Nick were like 2 or 3 years apart, I believe. He was like the brother I never had. So like he was always like we'd always like go to like wrestling events or like just play in the backyard or just he'd come over. We'd play like Metal Gear Solid on the PS1. Like that's how old we are. PS1 and like just I'd watch him whatever blah blah. But like just all this stuff like I was like, dude, this guy like is like an older brother to me. So like whatever he did, I would follow. Like he'd be like he was. I mean, that's how I got into wrestling too. Was through him as well. It was like Michael Donald, rest in peace, who got me into wrestling. But then my cousins too. They were always watching wrestling because of Michael Donald. So Michael Donald had a lot of influence on like wrestling and NASCAR driving and like football, like college football. So that's why I was into USC because of Michael Donald.
Hell yeah.
But going back to my cousin Nick, he was Ducks fan. So I was like, oh shoot, okay. Like I didn't at the time I was a kid. I didn't know what the hell like hockey was. So watched a few games, whatever. I watched the Kings, I watched the Ducks, and
Watch
then
the Mighty Ducks.
the Mighty Ducks, quack quack, flying V. So what's it called? I remember going to my first game. It was March 1st, 2007. It was the Kings and Ducks.
Jeez, you like me.
I know, knowing like dates and all that. Yeah, that's what my mom says too. She's like, "Man, you're good with numbers and dates." I'm like, "Yeah, well, not good at math, but I know something."
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks a lot. So it was March 1st, 2007. It was the Kings versus Ducks. It was at Staples Center. Yes, I still call it Staples Center. It will never be Crypto Arena to me.
Hell yeah.
And we went. Of course, the Kings. I think the Kings won. It was like an overtime or whatever. But just to go was exciting.
Yeah.
It was just so much fun, and I'm like, all right, this is my team. So I started following them, and then the same time I started following them, they won the Stanley Cup in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
So they were the first California team to win the Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hell yeah, this is where we go. And ever since then, they haven't won a Stanley Cup since.
Hey,
and the Los Angeles Kings have two, and you got to give credit where it's due. But the Kings are a great team. I mean, except when they play against the Oilers, they've lost 4 straight, which kind of sucks. But then the Oilers don't go anywhere. But needless to say, got to give credit to the Los Angeles Kings. 2012, 2014, but yeah, the Anaheim Ducks are the first California team to win the Stanley Cup in 2007. So yeah, after that, I kept watching it. I just watched the games. I think for us, like when we're so little, we're so passionate. We're like, oh fuck you, like you guys have the playoffs, blah blah. But like how you mentioned too, like now it's like we have to give credit where it's due as we get older. Like all right, before we were like a little biased, we were like a little ignorant, but now it's like okay, like it was fuck Dirk back then because he beat everybody like Kobe and like Miami in the 2011 championship run. But it's like he did it by himself. He didn't have anybody,
Yeah, he had a good team around him, but yeah, he was the star.
He was a star, no doubt. But like for him to conquer all those teams and they were like beasts, thinking like, oh, he can't get past the Lakers, and look what he does, and then he wins the championship. Yeah, so
beats the Heat in 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
So going back to hockey, so I would just keep watching them and whatever, blah blah. And it wasn't until like high school because I graduated in 2013. Same with this guy, 13 baby. Going back to after high school, my cousins were playing at the roller rink in West Covina, and I'd go and watch them play or whatever. And it was at one point where they were on the same team because they were just really fucking good. And what's it called? I was like, you know what? I should try out. So I tried out for their team. I was horrible. I couldn't skate for shit. So then eventually, I started rollerblading like at 15. You have to learn how to, like just be horrible and suck at something in order for you to do better. Because the more you practice, practice makes perfect.
You gotta enjoy it.
Exactly.
Enjoy the process.
So I was always rollerblading. I was always going to like the Midnight Rollerway, which is in Glendale. Like it's rollerblading. I had a few dates there, or whatever, and I was just trying to learn my rollerblading skills. And yeah, I would just I would skate out in the street too of my street, and my street's pretty busy, so like there'd be cars coming back and forth. Some people would honk, like, "Get the hell out of the way!" Other people were like, "Oh, that's fucking cool!" And so like I got my mom to buy me like a goal post, and like I bought my own hockey stick, whatever, and I would just practice out there and just do horrible, and eventually I was just getting the hang of things, because that's the thing. Like you got to learn how to just like practice, and I was doing like forehand shots, backhands, just learning how to handle the puck with the stick, learning not to look at the puck, and kind of like with basketball when you're dribbling, kind of the ball.
Yep.
It's pretty much what it is with hockey. Like you can't be looking at the puck because you have somebody that's gonna come and wreck you. So yeah, then eventually I remember getting my first team. Like I think it was like probably like 2014, 2015. And then ever since then I've been playing. I've been playing for like the last 10 years, and it's just like it's a beer league, adult league, whatever you want to call it. But there's some people out there, they take it very seriously. It's very fun. I don't. I have a good time. Like sometimes I'll bump into somebody and like, oh, watch where you're going. I was like, dude, relax. It's hockey. Plus, what are you gonna do? Come on, what are you gonna do? But yeah, the current team I'm on is they're cool. My captain's really good. Me and him play defense because everybody wants to try to score, and then
Mhm.
once the we turn over the puck, it's usually like a 2-on-1. So I got to go back and help my captain so we don't get scored on. But if anybody out there is a good goalie, we need one because our goalie's horrible. So I'm just saying.
No shade.
Yeah, well, there is shade because
Well, but all facts.
yeah, all facts. I can't stand
It's
him.
not. It's not a.
Yeah.
It's not subjective. It's objectively
Yeah,
fact.
yeah, this guy's horrible. But yeah, I've been playing ever since, and like I play every Sunday. Times vary. Sometimes they're at 5, sometimes they're at 8. Right now, I'm happy they're at 8. 'Cause it's so effing hot. I'm like just sweating bullets out there. But yeah, man, it's fun. I've always had a good time playing, and there's people out there too that are playing for the first time, and it's
Mhm.
just like, oh shit, like it's your first time playing. I was, no, I've been playing for 10 years, but like enjoy yourself. Like
Yeah.
it's not that serious. Like,
Yeah.
so
I mean, I remember. I mean, as a kid, I watched baseball, basketball, football, soccer. I never really watched hockey too much until I think high school. I think one of my friends in high school, we were at like Buffalo Wild Wings or something, and it was on. I never. It's not that I ever. It was hockey's always been exciting.
yeah.
Like the pace of it, the fights, of course. But like, I just never really cared to sit down and watch a hockey game. If I had a team, it would be the Kings because LA. I think my uncle's a Kings fan technically because he's
Yeah.
an LA guy. But I think it was like 2011. I think was when the Kings won, maybe
Oh no, it's 2012 and
20,
2014.
2012. Okay,
Yeah.
so I remember that, and I was like, oh, okay, it's cool. So I watched a couple games with my homie. I think it was my homie Adam that I went to high school with, because he was watching it heavy at the time, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was working at the high school these last couple years. This past season, we had a hockey team that came from another campus. They came to our campus, and they were the second best team in the nation, high school.
Wow.
We lost in the championship game in overtime, I think 2-3.
That's a good game.
And the other team that beat us is like a pipeline of professional hockey players come through there to go on and have professional careers. And I went to go watch them play for state against St. John Bosco, and they made it look easy.
Yeah.
And I'm watching these kids because like at school they were a pain in the ass because I have to supervise them during
Mhm.
breaks and lunch, before school, after school, and they're teenage boys. They have a lot of energy and testosterone and hormones and shit. So these motherfuckers love fighting or touching each other, wrestling, whatever the hell they're doing. It was annoying as hell, but
With consent.
sure, yeah, they used to. I'm not even joking. They used to yell that shit all the time. They'd look at me and be like, "Coach Rick, I consent to this," and I'm like, "I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't."
Do what you do at your own time.
Yeah,
buddy.
not here, bro.
Yeah.
Not.
I didn't see anything.
Nah, but watching them play, I was like, "Oh, damn, they're good." Like, I'll give them credit if any of them watch this. Y'all are. I said it to them. Y'all are good. So it was exciting to watch them do it, and then obviously they won state. That was cool. They lost in the championship. I didn't go. That was the only game I went to because I was like, I'm not gonna go support these fucking pains in the ass. I see them enough.
But they're
school.
your pains in the ass.
Hell no, they're not. No, the fuck they're not. My pains in the ass for my basketball players. But no, it was cool watching them. So watching hockey, and then I went to go see you play a couple years ago. Me and Jen. Shout out to Jen. The Nutcracker.
The Nutcracker. She's gonna be a professional wrestler. I'm putting it down right now. She's training right now. She's the next China. I'll tell you that.
You asked me right now. We went on a road trip this past week. Now she's living with her mom out of state. And when we got to her mom's house, I forgot what we talked about, but she brought it up. She said, the Nutcracker.
The Nutcracker.
And I started, I was like, fucking Josh.
Hell yeah, dude.
Inside.
This is waiting for her when she wins, too.
Yeah, hell no. She's like, you don't think I could do it? No, you can't do that shit. Love you. No, you can't. But yeah, no, watching you play, like you said, I'm gonna say you're good, and that's not being biased. Like, you're my boy, but I'll keep it real with you. You were good, and I know it was a tough game to watch because I think your team got their ass whipped that day, and I know you were frustrated and pissed off. But it was cool just to watch you play, and I know just knowing who you are, you just enjoy having fun, and you love the sport, you love the competition. I know you're not afraid to get physical and throw down if you need to. Check the socks.
Higher the sock, the downer, the fool.
Yeah, no. So it's been dope. I'm glad that have you played any other sports growing up aside?
Yeah, I mean, I played t-ball. That was like my first sport. Played t-ball. I was on the Dodgers. I almost went pro, but they said no. No, I'm just kidding. No, I played t-ball for the Dodgers in Highland Park. That was like the first one. And then I was on the Lakers too. Probably like I was like 5 or 6 years. Yeah, I was getting on the LA team. I was like, cool, because you see other teams like, oh damn, he's on this,
I
he's
don't
on
want to be
that.
on the Reds.
Yeah, the Reds. Me on the Cleveland. Oh, you can't call it anymore. And then I remember too. I think I was like on the Red Sox when I was like 10. But yeah, it was usually like basketball was like I was on the Supersonics at Lincoln Park, or Lincoln Heights Park.
Sick ass jerseys.
Yeah, it's incredible, dude. They got to bring them back.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I mean, just a few spots here and there, like nothing crazy. But yeah, it was always just sports, always sports to me. And then swimming too. Like I think my mom just wanted me, of course, like when you're a parent, you want to see what your kid will excel at. Like, oh, let's try him in basketball. Oh, that's not his best. Like, let's try him in baseball. Like, she put me in swimming. I was, I'm tooting my own horn here, but I was a pretty good swimmer and diver. Which I remember first doing diving. We were in the shallow end, and then like the following week they're like, okay, we're going to the deep end.
Yeah.
I was scared shitless.
Oh yeah.
I remember after going home crying to mom, I don't want to go, because I didn't know how to swim in the deep end. And so when we dove in, I'm like, this is nothing. Like I'm floating. I'm like a little fish, just chilling out there. Because like you initially think like, oh great, like I'm in the deep end. It's like 30 feet. You're looking down. I'm like, damn, what if I sink?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I took diving lessons. I remember going in there and like just coming back up. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm just gotta like swim a little. I'm good. Like I'm not panicking. Like it's so
It's all mental. It's a lot of mental. And
it is.
But as a kid, you don't realize that.
Yeah, and
as
then
a kid, you're just scared. You're like, I don't know what's in there.
All that anxiety in your head, and you do it.
10
like,
feet, 12 feet. That's deep.
Yeah, and then
I'm
you're
only
like,
3 feet tall.
yeah, I'm only like 2 feet tall. I'm a little short shit. I'm skinny. What if I sink?
That's funny. My mom, I also did swimming when I was like, my mom put me in swimming when I was 3. My sister swam when she was like 4. When we were young.
Yeah.
Right there at Edgewood, right across the street from Orangewood.
Yeah.
And same thing. I took swimming lessons there, and then diving. I was always a great swimmer, horrible at diving. I was always scared I was gonna crack my head.
Yeah.
No matter how deep it was, I'm like, I'm gonna fuck up. Like something's gonna happen. I was just an accident-prone kid, and my mom had it in my head like, you're gonna get hurt. And I'm like, okay. But yeah, they were like, okay, so next week or today we're gonna go in the deep end. I was like, oh hell nah. Over there? It's like 12 feet. I can't go over there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I could never dive, but swimming, like you said, it was fun. My mom always signed me up for sports. She was never a big sports person.
Really?
I don't know how. Like, I shout out to my uncle. Or I call him Theo. My uncle William and my cousin Chris, because they were the ones who got me into sports heavy. That's why I'm a Lakers fan, Dodgers fan, USC fan. They did have me as a Raiders fan early.
Raiders.
But then I switched myself in like I think it was like fourth grade to the Saints.
That's right, Reggie Bush, baby.
It was right before they drafted him. It was just because I went to Catholic school. They were the Saints, and I liked the colors,
good old
black and gold.
Good old Drew Brees.
We had at the time it was Aaron Brooks, Deuce McAllister, Joe Horn, Michael Lewis. That was our offensive core.
It's legends, right?
And then 2 years later, we got Sean Payton, Drew Brees, Reggie Bush. But it worked out. I got to see my team win the Super Bowl.
That's right.
And the same thing for you, saying the Ducks won. You got to see your hockey team win a World Cup, a fucking Stanley Cup. A Stanley Cup.
Not the drinks either. This is a Stanley Cup.
They won a Stanley Cup. You know what's funny? Also, being a Dodgers fan, born in the '90s, both of us, we didn't see our team win a World Series till 2020.
Yeah.
When I used to work at the grocery store down the street here, I had a friend who was an Angels fan, who was a little older. I think he was in his 30s. And he would talk shit to me. He's like, "Oh, you're a Dodgers fan?" He goes, "Hey, I've seen my team win a World Series." And I was like, "Yeah, when was that?" Like, this was 2017. I was like, "When was that? Like 15 years ago?"
Yeah.
I said, "I was learning my timetables, dude. No one fucking cares about when your team like, oh, you guys haven't won since the 80s."
Yeah. So
when we won in 2020, I remember we were still cool, like texting on Instagram, and I was like, "Hey, I saw my team win a World Series."
Yeah. Now you've seen them twice win a World Series.
It's the same, but no, give respect to where it's due. Also, shout out to my friend Jocelyn, my work bestie from my old job. She worked for the Angels that year.
Oh,
so
cool.
She has a World Series championship ring from the Angels.
That's dope.
And I'm like, oh, where is it? She goes, oh, it's in the safety deposit box somewhere. And I was like, yeah, I mean, if it was for the Angels, I would hide it too. Just talking shit. But the Angels did beat the Dodgers. We can't fucking beat them. And
they swept us, and that's
why. It's so tough.
But going back to because I always thought too, like I hope we could see the Dodgers win the World Series, and we did, and it's cool too because like when I saw them win in 2020, I was with my grandma, my aunt, my mom, like just all of our family was nice, and then like 2 years later, after the Dodgers won the World Series in 2020, my grandma had passed away. So just to have that memory, like it's always good to remember where you were when they, your team was a championship, like who you're with, because like like seeing that was beautiful, and like being with her, and then like I know she was a huge Dodgers fan. She used to yell top of her lungs like, "Come on, you idiot!" or "Why did they pull?" Like she was just such a passionate fan. Like
Yeah.
and like you mentioned how like your mom like wasn't really fond of you like doing sports. It was like your uncles and stuff. Like that's kind of like we didn't really like because like my grandma had like it was three boys and then my mom and my aunt like they were always had the football game, so she was like their cheerleader, like
Hmm.
come on Donald, what are you doing, get it together, come on Eric, come on Chris, my uncles, come on Chris, like come on get it together, just like the one always just so passionate, like watching like her kids play sports, like my mom and aunt too, watching me, watching like my little cousins grow up and them playing sports, like my cousin Chris playing at Franklin and in Highland Park, and her just like come on, like just so passionate, like just rest in peace. Like
Yeah.
she was always allowing us to get the pay-per-views for like wrestling, like watching all the hockey games and playoff games in the front room, and like she was on her tablet watching her novellas, and just there too she'd look, take off her glasses and look and see who's winning and what's going on. She's just a passionate sports fan, and it's just like I always say that all the time. Like it's good to know like who you're with like during those times where like
Hmm.
your team won the championship, and then for us to see it again last year was great too.
It was
Like
awesome.
and it was just me and my mom. Like it was just us like watching it together. So like to have that memory, like it's just incredible. Like that's
No,
like
that's
who you're
beautiful,
with.
man.
You
Shout
know?
out to the grandparents, man.
Yeah.
My grandmas they love me and my siblings so much, and they also spoiled us in that sense.
Yeah.
And when if it ever happens for us, like when we have kids, I know my mom's gonna be a great grandma, but she's gonna piss me the fuck off because even now we babysit like my neighbor across the street's babies. She babies the dog. She babies the crap out of them, and because I love them. I don't need to baby them. I don't need to coddle you. I love you, but
Yeah.
you gonna learn how I wasn't
Tough
coddled.
love.
Yeah, I wasn't coddled, and I always bring it up to my mom. Like I got my ass whooped. You used to whoop my ass all the time.
I used to get chili in my mouth and soap.
My mom used to whoop my ass when
Yeah.
I was a kid, and if she sees it, she's gonna roll her eyes, be like, "Oh my god, why are you saying that?"
Yeah, she's like,
These
"Oh,
are the facts.
you're exaggerating." No, I used to get slapped. I used to talk back and get slapped. I was like, "Well, it builds character."
It really
You
does.
know?
I think if my mom didn't, and I don't care, soft parents,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to be considered as.
Yeah.
If my mom didn't do that to me, I would be a way worse person.
Yeah.
I think overall I'm not a perfect person, but I think I'm respectful, and I think for the most part can be chill.
Right.
I have my temper, whatever. That's not gonna
Mhm.
go away. My mom didn't cause that. I think that just comes from me or my dad.
You're like, my mom had temper too.
But I mean,
Yeah.
being a single mom with 3 kids, man, yeah, she had stress, and I was a pain in the ass kid too. So
I mean, we all were. Like, we all had our moments. We weren't, we were sometimes spoiled. Sometimes things didn't go our way, and so we throw tantrums, whatever. But no, they would put us in our place.
nah, shout out to moms.
Yeah.
I love my mom.
I
To
love my
death.
mom too.
So
I mean, it's beautiful because she still's like, "Oh, where are you going? What are you doing? Where are you going?" And like, in hindsight, I'm like, I'm happy that you tell me that because I'm just like, you care about me. Some people some parents are like, "Oh yeah, okay, have
all
fun,
right, have
peace out."
fun.
Yeah, and like we get that like treatment
Maybe
where
I'll
it's
see
just
you
like,
tomorrow.
yeah,
Nah, my mom would always text me. You good?
Yeah.
Like but not like over. I had a lot of freedom,
Yeah.
for Latino households. My sister being the older one,
Yeah.
she was a little. She had a little more restriction on her.
Right. Yeah.
So when I got to high school, it was smooth for me. Like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, you're going out with your friends? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll pick you up at 10. Cool, no questions.
Yeah.
Who you gonna be? Not like who you gonna be with? Where you guys going? We're gonna be on Main Street.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Main Street,
Shout out
Alhambra, baby. Good times. If you were a shuffler, you knew.
Oh my god!
2010 and like
right outside
2012, I don't know what, but yeah.
20,
Or no, maybe before like 2008.
2008,
Yeah.
8, 9, 10, 11.
12, I would say. Yeah, that's
Well,
it.
10 is when I came over here to Covina. When I
It was
transferred.
still popping though.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I was out there 2008 to 2010, outside of Edwards Theater.
There you go. Yeah.
Outside the Panda Express,
Yeah.
the Johnny Rockets, the
Johnny
Applebee's.
Rockets.
There's the Rite Aid. It's not there anymore.
Yeah. I mean, a lot's changed. It sucks.
So, yeah, it's crazy now. Speaking of that time, and speaking about cool parents, I'm gonna go back to our mutual friend of how we met. I don't know if you remember her 16th birthday.
Oh,
The party
God.
bus.
Shit, we almost got killed that night. It was insane. I don't know where we were going. I mean, I was happy to be with all. There was like her mom was there for Christ's sake,
was on the party bus,
and she was
the
dancing.
aunts.
Yeah, and the aunt. I'm like,
The aunt was crazy.
what are you guys doing? This your
I
baby.
think shout out to because that was her aunt, her 15th birthday at the crib, at the grandma's crib. I remember my homie Hector. Shout out to Hector.
Shout out to Hector.
He was like, oh, because we've gone to dances before, and being my girl best friend, I guess trying to be wingman or whatever, she would dance on me. and then pull girls from me. Like, oh, you want to come dance with my best friend? Whatever. So Hector told me, he's like, oh, you're gonna dance with tonight? And I said, I don't know, probably not. I said, her family's here. I don't want it to be weird. As soon as I got there, she grabbed me, pulled me onto the dance floor, and started grinding on me. And I was like, oh shit. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, no one's tripping. I was like, okay. And he was looking at me like, what the fuck? And then later on, she danced with him. That's just, that's how she was. Mm-hmm. But even funnier, I'm sitting chilling. I was talking to this girl, and before I could even finish having my conversation, her aunt was fucked up, and her aunt grabbed me, pulled me onto the dance floor, and was like, "Come dance with me," and I was like, "Okay." And she started shaking. Shut the fuck up. She started shaking ass on me, and I was like, "What the bro?" I'm 14 years old. I don't know how old she was. I'm guessing like late 20s, early 30s, and was like, "Oh my god." Like, what the fuck? And she got so mad.
Oh man!
And
she would have been canceled in today's culture. But back then, it was just like
oh man,
I hate this cancel culture shit.
Quick side, even funnier side story. I remember being 8 years old, and my best friend from elementary school, his cousin was in high school at the time, and they had a party in the apartment complex she lived in. It was like a block party kind of thing.
How old were you?
I had to be like 8. Mm. And so me, him, and his mom went. His cousin was like, I don't know, 16 or something, 17. So we went, and everyone was chilling. We were having a good time. There was beer. I remember there being beer. I remember there being a DJ and shit. And at one point, the friends of the cousin, she went to Rosemead High, I think, and the friends of the cousin grabbed me and grabbed him, and they put us behind this train of girls just shaking ass. And they put me at the back of it, and they put him on the other one. And I remember just being behind this girl, ass in my face, and I'm like, and I just look off to the side. No, these guys looking off to the side with their beer, and they're cracking up. And I'm like, okay, like I don't know what you want me to do, but then I start putting my hands up, put my hands on the ass, and I'm like,
is this real life?
I was there for maybe like 2 minutes, and then I think the cousin found us and was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? She got so mad at her friends. She said, don't do that to them.
Where do you get off?
Bro, it's crazy. Nah, looking back, that's why I say now, like, people always ask me, like, even when I was working at the high school, kids would ask me about
this is why he's named Slick Rick, for a reason. Since probably birth, I wouldn't doubt it.
That shit is so funny. No, this is why people, like, even my high school kids ask me, like, oh, coach, like, how are college parties and shit? And I'm like, I'll be honest, college parties are overrated. But maybe that's because I've been partying since I was like literally a kid.
Yeah.
The block party, went to my first house party when I was like 13 years old.
See, while I was in the jumper, this guy was getting women left and right. That's what I'm saying, Slick Rick. Yes, he was. No, I mean, I was still trying to discover my penis for crying out loud, and this guy had women all over him.
Do you have any favorite? Well, actually, I'll ask this first. Not really a debate, just a question. Who had the best dances in high school out of all the private schools?
Cathedral had the best ones. I mean, there's times where they wouldn't allow us to go because Cathedral and Bosco Tech were
for context,
rivals.
My boy went to Don Bosco Tech in Rosemead. I went to Cathedral my freshman year of high school. But continue.
Yeah, Cathedral had the best ones. Salesians would pop sometimes. I just felt like I always had good luck with Salesian because
sometimes for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, but like too, like I'd always go to Salesian dances and like I'd always like just be dancing with a girl. I'm like, cool, and I get her number or whatever. Add me on Facebook, MySpace, whatever. It's just that's how you talk to whatever. And then like the next dance, like, oh, you're gonna go to this one? I'm like, hell yeah, you're gonna be there. I might be there. You never know, but yeah, it was always Cathedral. Salesian. When I was a freshman and sophomore in Bosco, those were the best ones because it was packed. I'm telling you, we had a huge. It was called Tech Hall. It was like a large hall, whatever. There was like I would say at least 1,000, maybe 2,000. I'm not even bluffing.
It would be.
It was
packed. It would be
sweat
hot.
balls, disgusting. Smells like.
And cathedrals, we had one. My freshman year, our welcome back dance was outside on like the lower level of campus. And after that, they were always in the gym.
Yeah.
But y'all had Tech Hall. No, Tech Hall was
fucking
big,
hot,
bro.
man. And then, people would come out and they get like water, sodas. Like, back then, they'd allow us to have like Red Bull and Monster. And then they stopped giving it out because it was like people were getting too hyper. And like, next year, we're not going to do this.
And what would you pregame with?
I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't pregame, dude. I was sober. I wasn't
I was not.
drinking, and I was just like, I'd have like a soda or whatever, water. But
We used to pregame with Four Loco and MDs.
yeah,
I went to a liquor store recently and I said, "Oh, you guys," I was like, "Oh, they have MDs,"
hmm
and they're like, someone asked me, "What's that?" And I said, "MD 2020." I was like, "Sorry," because they were a little older. I was like, "Sorry, Mad Dog."
yeah, I'm mad
I was
dog.
like a Mad Dog, and they were like, "Oh, that's disgusting." I was like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, it is."
I mean, yeah, I didn't really like drink until like junior year or like senior year of high school, like those parties. But
See, I'm
like,
just a bad kid,
no,
I
you're
guess.
not. I mean, everybody's story is different. Like, I
Of
was always
yeah.
like Mr. Goody Two Shoes. So I was, for me personally, like, I was very gullible. My mom was always telling me the truth, like, just always honest with me. So people were like, I didn't understand sarcasm until later. Like, oh yeah, I did this. Like, oh really? No, man, I'm just being sarcastic. Well, I don't know. Like, I
Fucking
wasn't
idiot.
sure. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I was so clueless. Like, oh
At all,
shit.
and I bought
Yeah.
all boys school. It's hella shit talking. Like, oh really? You didn't get that?
Yeah. No, all the time. Like, oh yeah, did you get that number? I was like, oh fuck yeah, I did. Oh hell yeah, no doubt.
I was gonna ask you, because back in this is funny. Back in high school, I didn't have like the confidence or self esteem. I've been overweight most of my life, but back then, I had fun. I got to dance with girls. I got to
hmm
talk to girls. I got to do whatever.
Yeah.
But for you, even when I met you from the jump, you were always this very outgoing, charismatic, don't give a fuck about what anybody thinks type of guy. Is that an accurate statement, or like what was your mentality in high school as far as like your how you viewed yourself and how you became that outgoing, like
So
loud, like a Pauly D type of person?
the hair too.
The hair
Um,
too.
honestly, man, like I've always was like a social butterfly. Like in middle school, like getting to high school, and then there was like a dark time where this was like freshman year of high school. It was cool, and then my uncle got sick. He had pneumonia.
Mm,
He got sick like around like December, and it sucked too because it was like every December we'd always have like a family party or whatever every year at my McDonald's house. The same one that introduced me to wrestling, introduced me to like college football. Like just he was like the father I never had,
hmm
and he got sick, and then he had a stroke, and then he passed away December 21st, 2009. So it wasn't the jolliest Christmas, but I think I was depressed for like almost like 2 or 3 years, whatever. But with the crazy thing that happened to me, which is where I got I'll tell you the quote that you know so well that I always used to say. It was his 1 year anniversary of his death in 2010,
hmm
and I had a dream of him. And I was at church, and when you're in high school, you go to church, whatever, blah blah. Especially since we're a Catholic high school,
hmm
and I had a dream about him, and we were at my middle school church at St. Ignatius, and I was like in a row, and I was praying, and then I went to go like get the body of the Eucharist, body of Christ, and he's like giving it to me, and he was just like, I was like, I miss you, like you don't. He only popped up in my dreams so often,
hmm
and it was nice because like after someone passes, like
You
it's
don't get
nice to
to
see
see,
them,
yeah.
and so he was like, don't worry about me, I'm fine, stay positive. And I had never heard that. I'd never heard someone tell me that. I was like, oh shit. So then after that, like that became my motto, like to stay positive, stay strong, like you can get through this, whatever. And before I was like, man, I'll never get through it. And the reality is like grieving, there's no time limit. Like I
Mm-mm.
hate when people are like, oh, you'll get over it. Like you don't. Like
No, you
you
don't.
learn to live with it, but you don't get over it. Like
No.
I still every anniversary will go and to his grave, and my mom, my family will all go give him flowers, and we'll take a shot of Jack Daniels because he loved Jack Daniels, and
That's dope.
but yeah, that's where I got that positivity, and like from then on there, like I just decided to be happy. Like I was like, I know he'd want me to be happy. Like
Of course.
that's what your family wants you to do is always just be happy, be yourself. They try to do the best they can for you, and like they did. Like they put me in a good high school. They supported me, through good and bad, and especially him. Like he supported me, and got me into like different kinds of things, whatever, etc. And from then on there, like I remember, like I used to post like Facebook videos of positivity, or I do like back then like people were lip syncing.
Yep.
I don't know if like that
I
became like a
remember
trend, and I was like,
that.
I remember originally I was like, did I start that? I was like, no, but some people were doing that lip syncing
You
trend.
get credit for it.
Yeah, and
For extending the popularity.
yeah, so I would do like lip sync. I don't know
I
why.
remember that.
It was
Yeah.
just fun to do, and people would like it. Like, oh my god, you're so like positive and whatnot. And I rarely got any haters or anything. It was just positive. It was nice because you want to surround yourself with people who make you happy,
Of
who
course.
encourage you, or like just send like a good vibe. And that's what I always try to do. And as you get older, you kind of you have to have that because there's going to be times in your life that challenge you, that test you, whether it's death, whether it's losing like, a friendship, or like even family too. I've lost family where I'm like, I never expected to lose you to someone else, or like a significant other. You went on and did your own thing, and I'm praying for you, but it sucks because you haven't been around. So I've been through that a lot. But even then, it's just like I can't let that take it away from me being who I am. Because some people lose themselves, so alcohol, drugs, like, they lose themselves to who they once were, and you're like, damn, like that person's not the same anymore because of one incident. But I'm like, I don't want that to be me. I want to just try to stay positive. It's tough. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a
robot,
box full of sunshine, and at times I have my rain and my dark thoughts. But I just try to, I always think too. Like my mom always told me, like even if you wake up and just say a prayer, that's something. She's like, I'm not going to expect you to go to church, but like a prayer to start off your day will make you feel good. Even on your worst days, like it's good to be thankful for what you have. Like it's good to have, you have a roof over your head, you have food, you have clothes, you have a car, you have a job, you have your education. Some people don't even have half of that. Some people are our age and don't have that capacity to be like, oh yeah, let me go get a job. Oh yeah, let me go back to school. Like some people don't have their shit together like how we do. And I think I'm struggling, but sometimes I'm just like, you know what? No, it's not a bad life, but you could always make it better.
I feel that, man. And yeah, no, that's a beautiful story of like, because that is your mantra, stay positive.
Yeah.
And I know you've told me about some times that you've gone through, and even for me, like I know everyone's human, so I don't look at you like, oh, John's got it all together. It's like, but you give off that you've always given off that great positive energy. Even if you're going through something, I know you kind of tend to just kind of remove yourself a little bit,
Yeah.
which is fine. Like, 'cause you don't want to bring anyone else down, and I 100% feel that. But yeah, I just appreciate, you've always had that. Even when I met you, you were just like, you really were like Pauly D, and Jersey Shore was big at the time.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
So you would come into the party like, yo, like everyone, you'd be the hype man, like, yeah,
like, Cabs are here, Cabs are here,
Cabs are here!
No, yeah, no, I appreciate that too. And the thing is with you, it's funny you mentioned that too, because like I was telling my mom earlier, I was like, yeah, like it's just there's been times where like you've invited me to places and I'm like I can't make it, and I feel so bad because I couldn't make it because of something, or sometimes I just wouldn't feel like going, not because of you like personally, but it's like me, I'm like I'm down or something I got going on. But I always just said too, like I told my mom too, I was just like, you know what, like, but he's such a good friend, like even though like we could not talk for like years or whatever, and then like we could pick up where we left off. That's a beautiful thing, because some people like you invite them so many times, like, oh fuck you, I'm not gonna invite you anymore. But you've never been that person. You've always been that good, positive person too. Always surrounding yourself by good people, like especially the good people you have now in your life. Even if I always say it's not about quantity, it's about quality, and you have good quality people in your life. And it's just like anybody who's ever met you has been like, they've come across such a great person. So like, I just want to say like thank you too, because there's times where I'm just like I realize I'm like, damn, like he's always inviting me still. Like I love that, even though sometimes I can't make it, or I'll try to make it and I do. Like for example, like when you invited me to SummerSlam, I'm like, oh, I'll see what I could do, and then I fucking made it, and it was nice. It was like old times.
You know what? Side note, Jen told me seeing you was awesome. Like she hadn't seen you in years, and she was going through her stuff.
Of course, yeah.
So she was like she's like, oh, I love seeing him. You know what? It was just so beautiful. That made my week. Like that was
thanks, Jen. Shout out to Jen.
Shout out to Jen. She's for sure gonna watch this. But yeah, no, she for sure told me. She's like it's just he's just so pure. Like he just the energy he gives, and yeah, I just needed that. I needed
the Nutcracker. She's the next China, dude. I'm telling you.
You know what's funny? People tell me that a lot, and I'll stay humble about it. I appreciate the compliments I get from my friends.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm not a perfect person. I know I know my flaws. People ask me all the time, "What are your flaws?" I'll fucking listen for you. I know who I am, and I love who I am. I can be better. I try to be better. But I say all that to say, like, people who tell me that, like, "Oh, you still invite me?" Even my friends I've known you since freshman year of high school. Friends from middle school, from kindergarten.
Yeah.
And if they watch this, they'll be like, "Damn, he still be sending the invite." And for me, it's like, I still, like, we've had such good times together. I don't want to, for little things to let that go. I've known you for years. We've been through a lot. We've had so many fun moments that if we could have those again, cool.
Yeah.
If it doesn't line up, that's fine. Maybe there'll be next time. And I hate to get dark, because I think I said this with Jen. Tomorrow's never promised.
Right.
But that's why I always extend the invite for my.
And that's not even dark. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah. For my peace, for my soul. I can be like, I sent the invite. If they can make it, cool. If they can't make it, that's fine too. I hope we get to see each other another time. It's not easy. I live in West Covina. I had a lot of friends like you who live in LA, Alhambra, El Sereno, Rosemead, Whittier, like all over the place. So it's really difficult to get you guys to come out here, and I know it's hard, but I appreciate you always making the time. I'm glad we have that memory of me being your first house party.
Yeah, dude, it was
first
great.
Jello shot.
Yes, sir.
Sorry,
Mom.
all the dances. I was gonna say, going back to what you said, cathedral dances were cool when I went. I'll give it to Bosco. Our sophomore year, I thought Bosco had some pretty good dances.
Yeah, it's just they were like I mentioned too, like they were just always packed. There was like so
were.
many people, and like, but it was cool because it was like reunions. Like I'd see you, or I'd see like Ham, or I'd see like other people and shit like that.
I have not heard anyone call him.
I still call him
Shout
Ham.
out to Hector.
Hector.
God damn,
that
Ham.
fool was cool as shit. Last time my son was at was in Highland Park. We had a bar, but it's no longer open. It's called York or the York. Such a great bar. They had liquor. They had everything. It was chill vibes. And he was there. Bought him a shot. Whatever. He was on like a little date. Whatever. That's cool. Did his thing. I was there alone. I always ride solo. But yeah, it was just good to see him. And it's same thing. Last time. It's funny you mentioned too because I ran into Hugo last year.
Shout out to Hugo.
Yeah, shout out to Hugo, man. That guy's a go. Where did I see him, man? I saw him at
Hugo Fades.
Hugo Fades. Get his clips. I saw him at it's called Sidebar. It's in Alhambra. It's no longer open.
Yeah, I know exactly.
It's no longer open either. All these fucking bars
They're
are closing.
closed?
Yeah, everything's closing.
I'm not too surprised.
But yeah, I saw him there too. It was cool. Like he was just like so like genuine. Like man, like that's cool that you came up to me. I was like, well, yeah, dude. Like we know each other since like 2009, 2008. We did freshman football together. Like when we started that summer 2009. But yeah, he was like, yeah, it's just genuine for you to come up to me and talk to me. I was like, yeah, dude. Like, I guess I don't know. People like in high school, like, oh, I'm not gonna talk to him. Like, nah, like if I know you, I'm gonna say hi. If you don't want to talk to me, that's fine. But like, I was always there was never anything wrong with between me and him. Like, we're always cool. Same thing with you. You've always been a genuine person. Like, this guy's a pure motherfucker right here. Yeah, it's just you've always been such a good dude, and like you've like I said too, like you've positively impacted like the people you've come across, and like that's the thing too that's genuine about you too is like you still invite people even if they can or they can't make it. You throw your cards out. If it's there, you get some. You come back, and people will come. If you build it, nerds will come. But yeah, man. So
well, you said you were here. Last thing I'll mention. You said you were here for that 2019 party I had, or the kickback. Because
I faintly remember, but yeah,
I think you were.
Yeah.
Hugo was here too.
Yeah, you might have came later because we came for a little bit, and then I think I probably left.
I think you're right. And then also with Hugo was somebody I've known since kindergarten, Aguila. Shout out to Aguila. And just like you mentioned right now, back when we went to school together, K through 8. Hugo came in, I think, 6th and 7th grade, and then he left. But Aguila, I remember that day he came up to me. He was drunk, but he came up to me and he's like, yo, man. And that was when I was in better shape. He goes, yo, man, you look fucking great. He goes, man, you lost so much weight. He goes, yo, because a lot of people used to talk shit. He was one of the people who used to give me shit for being a fat kid.
Oh, that's fucked.
Yeah, it is what it is. I'm grown. I don't give a fuck.
No, I get it, yeah.
But he came up to me. He got that drunk moment. He goes, bro, I'm so sorry. I used to give you a hard time when and keep in mind, like, I love Alex. No shade to Alex. My boy's, he's not a tall dude. Like, I ended up taller than most of my friends. So, being the fat kid, whatever. Now I'm big, but I'm big. So, he came up to me, he's like, yo, man, I'm sorry for giving you such a hard time. Like, and you never ratted on us. Like, you were always so cool. And he goes, and look at you now. You look great. You got, you're in school, you work. He goes, you got all these people, and I'm like, I said, yeah, man, looks good. I said, I ain't tripping on it. If I was tripping on that, you would not be here.
Right. Yeah.
That's elementary shit. Like we don't need. We're good. I was like, we're good, man.
But that's respect to him for coming up and telling you that.
For sure.
Some people just like don't even say sorry. They just have too much. Oh, like good to see you, and then that's it. Like,
he's a real dude, and I know he's been through a lot. I'm sure he's been through a lot, like we all have in our life.
Right.
You kind of reflect on it, and like we said, as you get older, you have greater appreciation for things you didn't have appreciation for as a kid.
Right.
And we've hung out a few times at other get-togethers. So shout out to all my homies from kindergarten. Shout out to my boy John for coming through.
Yes, sir.
Since freshman year, man, for 15 years, and we're gonna keep going strong. Appreciate y'all for joining us. John, is there one last message you want to give to the people?
Stay positive, baby.
Stay positive.
Yee-hoo!
And like I always say, y'all, this week, go have a real conversation with someone in your life, someone you love, someone you care about. It's very important. I think it gets a lot across. Doesn't have to be, it could be a minute, it could be an hour, it doesn't matter. But make sure you get that done. And that's the bottom line.
Because Stone Cold said so.
Appreciate y'all for joining the Slick Talk Real Combos. This is not the Henny Cave, but this is still my pad.
This is Slick Rick over here, baby.
And we'll catch y'all next week in the next episode. Until then,
stay golden, Pony Boy.
And the champ
is...